The Addams family has a huge history, each of its members being an incredibly charismatic and unique character. All of them have independence, but it was precisely their symbiosis that made the family so popular. Today we will talk, perhaps, about the darkest and at the same time the most charming family in the history of pop culture, the Addams family. Let's trace their journey from Charles Addams' first cartoons to the cult films of the 1990s, animated series, and modern projects, with the main focus on Netflix's Wednesday, which once again made the characters incredibly popular. Why did Wednesday become the main heroine for a new generation? The birth of the Addams family began in 1938, when American cartoonist Charles Addams first drew a strange gothic family in the New Yorker magazine. Interestingly, the characters didn't have names or detailed biographies at that time. They were just caricatured figures. A stately woman in black, a passionate man, children with strange hobbies, a mysterious butler, and of course, the Thing, a severed hand. The cartoons were distinguished by a mix of absurdity, humor, and darkness. Charles Addams loved to play with contrasts. What was usually considered frightening or taboo in his drawings looked normal. The first adaptations ranged from sitcoms to cartoons. The characters truly came to life in 1964, when ABC launched the black-and-white sitcom, The Addams Family. That's when the heroes received the names we're familiar with: Gomez, Morticia, Wednesday, Pugsley, Fester, and Lurch. The series ran for 2 seasons and cemented the Addamses as a cultural phenomenon. In the 1970s, the first animated series by Hanna-Barbera appeared. They made the Addamses more child-friendly while keeping the trademark humor. The 1990s, films and the birth of a cult. In 1991, the Addams Family movie hit theaters. It became a cult classic for several reasons. First of all, the cast: Angelica Houston as Morticia, Raul Julia as Gomez, Christina Ricci as Wednesday, and Christopher Lloyd as Uncle Fester. The soundtrack and visual style combined dark humor, grotesque, and family values, with the music becoming an inseparable part of the atmosphere. The film did well at the box office, and in 1993 it received a sequel, Addams Family Values. The second installment further secured the franchise's place in pop culture. It was then that Christina Ricci's Wednesday became a true star. Her cold stare, iconic braids, and sharp remarks turned her into a symbol of teenage rebellion. After the success of the films came Broadway musicals, animated series of the 1990s and 2000s, and the animated features of 2019 and 2021. But over time, the franchise slightly lost its relevance. Young people knew the Addams Family more through memes and references rather than the original, and that's when Netflix entered the scene. How did Netflix get the rights? For a long time, the rights to the franchise belonged to MGM Television. When the studio was looking for partners for new projects, Netflix showed interest. The idea of reviving the Addams Family as a regular sitcom might not have worked. The competition with the classic versions was too strong. Then came the decision to focus on one character. And, as you understand, that character was Wednesday. Why Wednesday? Wednesday Addams has always been the brightest heroine of the franchise. She combined gothic style and dark humor, teenage independence and rebellion, charisma that appealed equally to adults and young viewers. In the 1990s, Christina Ricci made Wednesday a symbol, but in the 2020s, the character fit perfectly into TikTok culture and teenage trends. Netflix realized that a series about Wednesday's school life, with elements of mystery and detective story, could attract a massive audience. The Netflix series Wednesday. Tim Burton, a true legend known for films like Edward Scissorhands, Sleepy Hollow, and Beetlejuice, became the director. His aesthetics were a perfect match for Addams's story. From comics to Netflix, character by character. To understand the scope, let's go through each of them. Gomez Addams, the charismatic head of the family, full of passion and energy. Morticia Addams, the embodiment of gothic elegance and refinement. Wednesday Addams, dark, smart, and independent. Pugsley, the victim of his sister's experiments, yet kind and naive. Uncle Fester, the crazy uncle with a love of electricity and explosions. Grandmama, a witch and herbalist. Lurch, the loyal butler. Thing, a severed hand which became a symbol of the family's trademark madness. In the second season, its backstory is revealed. Cousin It, small, covered in hair, speaking his own language. Each of them is not just a character, but an archetype, representing the psychology of the Addams family. One of the main reasons the Addams family has been so beloved is not only the humor and dark aesthetics, but also the way the characters interact with each other. At first glance, they seem strange and frightening, living in a gothic mansion and enjoying things that most people find dark and abnormal. But if you look deeper, their family relationships are much healthier and more harmonious than in many ordinary families. Gomez and Morticia, a union of equals. At the center of the family is the couple Gomez and Morticia. Their relationship can be called a model of passionate and sincere love. They always support each other and openly express their feelings. There is no hint of boredom or routine. Instead, they live with excitement and admiration for one another, even after years of marriage. Importantly, Morticia is not a wife in the shadows, as women were often shown in old sitcoms. She is an equal partner, intelligent and independent. Their union shows viewers that strong relationships are built not on stereotypes, but on trust and passion. Parents and children trust without pressure. Wednesday and Pugsley grow up in an atmosphere of freedom. Their parents allow them to be themselves and support even the strangest hobbies. Experiments with electricity, love of torture, or collections of poisonous plants. For the outside world, this may seem shocking, but the children feel accepted for who they are. That's why Wednesday is a confident and independent personality. She knows her opinion matters and doesn't have to conform to others' expectations. Brother and sister, rivalry and care. The bond between Wednesday and Pugsley looks harsh. She constantly teases him and puts him in dangerous situations, but behind it lies a peculiar form of affection. Wednesday tests boundaries and Pugsley accepts her unusual way of communicating. In critical moments, they always support each other. It's a dark parody of sibling rivalry, taken to the extreme. Uncle Fester and Grandmama, keepers of tradition. They play the role of elders who don't dictate rules but inspire experimentation. Grandmama, as a witch and herbalist, provides a link to roots and family traditions. Fester is a source of joy and fun, always siding with the younger generation. Lurch and Thing, symbols of loyalty. Although not blood relatives, they are full members of the family. Lurch is reliable, quiet, and always ready to help, showing that family is not only about biology but also about emotional bonds. Thing is a faithful friend who is literally always at hand. This emphasizes the value of chosen family. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you are there to support, you are part of the circle. The psychological paradox. Although outwardly the Addams family looks horrifying, their inner dynamic is built on love, respect, and support. That's the real magic. A family that looks scary but is actually healthier than many normal families. The Addams family traveled the path from a small cartoon in a magazine to a global cultural phenomenon.